Good morning, one and all. I, Anju Jose, this is Diti Devasi, will be your host for today. To quote John Maxwell, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way.
Our Naibunya Business School has been always inspired by the vision of its founder that every student comes to this temple of learning must be a person filled with knowledge, fear of God, respect to elders, respecting the rules and regulations of this education portal, love and reverence to parents and also to the nation. Because we students are torch bearers of tomorrows and leaders of the nation.
We welcome you all to this providential ceremony of Prayaan third edition, the Leadership Talk series, conducted under the initiative of Placement Cell of Naipunya Business School. Our intention is to bring the best professional of the industry to interact with you and help you all to learn the leadership challenges and how to face it. Today, we have the most honorable chief guest, Mr. Narendra Kezi, State Head of Reliance Geocom. Sir, we extremely privileged to meet you and interact with you.
So, without any delay, let us begin our program by seeking the blessing from the Almighty God. So, I request you all to stand for the prayer song.
This piece of broken and scared, mercy gathered, mended and moved, empty-handed, but not forsaken. I've been set free. I've been set free. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now is gone for see. Oh, I can see it now. Oh, I can see the love.
Next, I invite Ms. Tancia Stanley, first year MBA student, for officially welcoming the gathering.
To quote John Zenger, great leaders are not defined by the absence of weakness, but rather by the presence of clear strength. Good morning, everyone. Today, we have gathered here for the second day of Prayaan Leadership Talk series. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you all to this very special event. On behalf of Naipunya Business School, I cordially welcome our chief guest, Mr. Narendran Kesi, State Head of Reliance Geo Infocom. We all are keen to hear from you, sir, about your journey, knowledge, and success. I would also like to welcome Dr. Jacob PM, Director of Naipunya Business School, and Ms. Naina S., Placement Cell Coordinator, who has taken efforts to bring amazing speakers for both the sessions. I also extend a warm welcome to all the faculty members and my dear friends. I hope everyone finds this session worthwhile. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Stancia. To quote John Maxwell, a great leader's courage to fulfill his vision comes from passion, not position. I think this is the most apt quote that I can give, Director of our institution, Dr. Jacob PM, who always worked hard to connect with the youth minds towards success and betterment of their career. Sir, I am delighted to welcome you for the presidential address.
As I mentioned yesterday, we had the third edition of Prayaan yesterday, and we had Mr. Matthew Joseph, CEO of Fresh to Home, addressing all of you. He grew up as an entrepreneur, or maybe he started off his career in office, but became an entrepreneur later. Today we have somebody different, and we have a person from the telecommunication department. You would find that especially telecommunication industry, I'm sorry. And we have one of the best brands also. I'm sure people all know Jio. I don't think it requires any introduction. All of us are using it. And definitely we have Jio, a person from Jio itself to address you. Now, I was just, he was asking me as what you should share. I was telling him, one, it's regarding your business. Second thing is, I was requesting him, to share how he has grown up in his career. Because Prayaan is a journey that you're going to take up. And in the journey, this journey is intended to bring different people, in the sense, maybe entrepreneurs, different types of industries, leaders who have made a mark in different types of businesses, and as well as in social connections also. So we would like to have different, so this is the third edition, and maybe you were not able to witness all the editions, but every year we try to bring separate different people also. So today we have a very dynamic person. In the sense, when I was talking yesterday also, it was very energetic. In fact, Matthew Joseph was inspiring, isn't it? All of you as to how you should become an entrepreneur if you could make a mark. Now today again, when I was speaking to Mr. Narendran also, I felt, that type. He was actually, he in fact, I was also being in the industry. I know how motivated we people are. We cannot be actually demotivated. As I usually tell, the minute I enter into the gates of Naipunya, I am a different person. I never think about what is at home. That is my situation. Because that is the way that we need to be motivated. Otherwise, we cannot pull on with this job. And the same vibe I was getting it from Mr. Narendran when he came down. Within maybe we have interacted hardly around 10 minutes. By the time, I think, he has shared a lot of things regarding the Kerala, the status, the economic position, how money is going from one place to another, and what money is coming from this side, the different types of everything within 10 minutes, he was like speaking. And that is what we are all used to. Industry people are like that. Sometimes my wife tells me that, you talk too much. That's what happens, this is something there always within us. So we have a very person who's authentic. He can speak authentically about what is the business happening, and who is really motivated. And this is what we want each and every one of you to grow up. Not just, to be sitting there and, saying that this is enough for me. No, we want people to be energetic. We want people to thrive and flourish, and see that tomorrow you become great business leaders. Tomorrow, I also have a dream that you would also be sitting like Mr. Narendran and interacting with the business school student. That is what my dream is. Understood? So you have now opportunities to meet. But when we struggle, I'm sure that Mr. Narendran also would share with me that when we studied in college, we did not have these type of experiences. I did not even did not know the name of resume, difference between resume and CV. I wrote only a biodata. I think I've shared sometime before also. The first thing that I wrote was biodata. I did not know what was a CV, what was a resume. After 10 years only, I understood that this was something different. So we did not have that opportunity, but now you have the opportunity. Time is very precious. I would request all of you to be interactive. And if you ask, you will get answers. Otherwise, if you don't ask, you may not get answers also. So please interact with them. And once again, I welcome you, sir, for this to this B school. We are a young B school, not very. You will not find it very posh also, but then my students are very. They have a heart, and they are ready to accept, things and make changes also. In fact, we are located only not in a great city and not in a rural background, but still, my students have made great placements also. Let me say that companies like MRF, Aditya Birla, ITZ, all these companies have started recognizing us, and they have started coming to the campus. We did not have these type of placements maybe in 2015 when I joined here, but now things are changing. So again, the reason is because you're getting exposure, you're getting companies are also understanding that, and that is what I want from each and every student to understand, learn from people, and start aspiring, start dreaming, and definitely you will be able to create a mark in the industry. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. An excellent teacher will value his students' positive attribute. If one good quality is allowed to merge a heap of other good qualities will follow. Next, I invite Ms. Naina S., the Placement Cell Coordinator of Naipunya Business School, to introduce our honorable chief guest to this occasion.
So good morning, everybody. Good morning, sir. So today, actually, I'm interested with the duty of introducing the speaker. And first time, I think I'm writing down something and bringing because I don't want to miss out any point on Mr. Casey Narendran. Because I really find it, when I was actually going through his profile, I've been interacting with some of the people in the industry. I understood that he's a person with a different magnitude. Okay, he has been working with multinational corporations for the past 3 decades. He has been with some of the majors of the telecom industry here. As well as he's a person, he's a leader, he's a business coach, he's a mentor, he has been mentoring some of his subordinates. So this was a kind of feedback I got from people. So I really find it very difficult to articulate that is what his persona is, what his charisma is. I don't know whether I'll be efficiently be able to articulate to you people. So Mr. Casey Narendran has been associated with various multinationals for the past 3 decades in various capacities. And I'm not sure whether I'll be able to articulate his experience properly. He has established himself as a leader, mentor, and business coach. In the industry, he is known to be a man of vision, passion, and a person with a winning spirit. He has been associated with almost all the telecom majors like Reliance, Bharti Airtel, Telenor, and he has also worked with Escortel and also with the IP industries. Mr. Narendran has done his management programs from some of his prestigious institutions like Harvard Business School, INSEAD, France, London Business School, and IIM Ahmedabad. Currently, he is the state head of Reliance Jio Infocom, Kerala. So we are really fortunate to have Mr. Casey Narendran, a professional, a leader of his charisma and his pedigree, coming to our campus and interacting with our students is truly a privilege to us. So I wholeheartedly welcome Mr. Casey Narendran for addressing our students. Thank you, sir.
All right. So thank you so much, Dr. Jacob, dear Nana, and my dear friends. Let me start. Which language? English, Malayalam, Hindi, Tamil? I'm serious. You decide first. Malayalam. അപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് കയറി വരും അത് ചെറിയ പ്രശ്നമാണ് എന്നാലും നമുക്ക് അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ആവും സോ ലെറ്റ് മി സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ഡോക്ടർ ജേക്കബ് പറഞ്ഞുമായിട്ട് ഡിസഗ്രി ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് ഐ വോണ്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് disagreement is that he said please grow up. I tell you don't grow up. Never ever try to grow up. Yeah, am I audible? Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm okay. So I'm saying don't grow up. Stay where you are. Once you grow up, then you hit a ceiling. That's a problem of growing. And I always request my colleague, I too have a daughter of maybe of your age. She's completing her graduation now, I think next month. I keep telling her the child in you is what will actually keep you kicking. Once you get old, once you think you're old, once you think you have grown up, then I think the growth stops. So never ever grow up. That is my first lesson, with your permission, Dr. Jacob. Second one is, see, I'll tell you this. We will talk about this VUCA world. All of you have heard of this? Have you at least Googled? So we will talk about, I would say about 15-20 minutes on VUCA world. What is this? I must confess that I also did a bit of research only after I got this topic. And then we will say what probably you want to know, what are the opportunities and what is the requirement that you need to have to be part of this confusion, this mess. Then we'll keep about 20 minutes on that. So the second part, and the third 20 minutes we'll have an interaction. Or if you want maybe 10-15 minutes more, I'm okay with that.
അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൽ നിങ്ങൾ ഡോണ്ട് അൺലെസ് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് റെസ്ട്രിക്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഐ ക്യാൻ ഓൾവേസ് ബി ഹിയർ ഫോർ another about 80 minutes. Yeah, that's fine. If it's a deal, then we'll start. Let's quickly explain. ഈ ബുക്ക വേൾഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇതൊരു വലിയ ഒരുപാട് ഹിസ്റ്ററി എന്നുള്ളൊരു വേർഡോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ അല്ല. ഓൾ ഓഫ് us have gone through this situation many times in life. And ബുക്ക situation is, I would say, this is a VUCA situation. So, how do I do? How do I? Yeah. So, 1985-ലാണ് ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ച്. 1985 എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ 22-30-35 കൊല്ലം പഴക്കമുള്ള ഈ യൂസേജിന്, VUCA usage. What does it talk about? It talks about volatility, V, uncertainty, U, complexity, by C, and A, ambiguity, confusion, a situation of confusion. Somewhere it is coined in this book called Leader, the Strategies for Taking Charge. And this was written, I think, in 85. അപ്പോൾ ഈ കൺഫ്യൂഷനും കോംപ്ലിക്കേഷനും എന്താ മുമ്പോട്ട് പോകണേയും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ഒരു പേരിടൂ, ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് VUCA. ആൻഡ് ഡോണ്ട് അസ്യൂം ഈ പട്ടാളക്കാരുടെ പടമൊക്കെ ഉള്ളത്, ഡോണ്ട് തിങ്ക് ദിസ് ഇസ് എൻ ആർമി ഓർ എ ഡിഫൻസ് ഇഷ്യൂ. ഇത് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഉള്ളതാണ്. ആൻഡ് മൈ VUCA സിറ്റുവേഷൻ മേ നോട്ട് ബി somebody else's VUCA situation. So a nation's pandemic like COVID is a global VUCA situation, isn't it? എല്ലായിടത്തും എവിടെ ചെന്നാലും, ആഫ്രിക്കയിലായാലും ഇന്ത്യയിലായാലും അമേരിക്കയിലായാലും that situation there. Then there is a situation called like ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ recent war which is their Russian, that geography. That's something which is directly putting that two geographies into a VUCA situation. May not be so much for the rest of the world. Similarly, there could be a problem when there is a flood in Kerala. First of all, nobody knew why the flood. The only thing is that we know there is some water and mismanagement of people who should have handled it well. Other situation which is affecting only us. നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഒരു 30 about 15,000 square kilometers, half of Kerala impacted the situation. So VUCA situation might vary from person to person, even though we may be in the same room. My situation varies from what you go through in life. Yeah. I think we should operate from there. Yeah. So don't get confused by all these things. I'm sure you're bored with this kind of slides and this, but it's clearly complexity, volatility, ambiguity, and uncertainty. How much do you know about the situation? ഈ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ കൂടുതൽ അറിയുന്നതാണോ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് കുറവ് അറിയുന്നതാണ്? എത്ര കുറവ് അറിയുന്നോ അത്രയും അതിൻ്റെ സൊല്യൂഷനും അറിയാൻ പറ്റാതെ. സോ you do not know about the problem, hence you do not have a solution. You don't know the problem. പ്രശ്നമുണ്ട്, അനങ്ങാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല, but what do I do? So understanding the problem would be most important in a VUCA situation. പലപ്പോഴും we get perplexed. പെട്ടെന്ന് പ്രശ്നം വന്നു കഴിയുമ്പോൾ we don't know what to do, and we get into a numb situation. ഒന്നും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്തൊരു വല്ലാത്ത situation. So related with your personal experience, professional experience, now we need to check what is that we need to do. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So that is one situation. പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കാതെ വെള്ളപ്പൊക്കം, unexpected. We don't know what to do because we have not experienced in life. COVID, we have never seen. 100-year-old, my mother is 96. In her life, she has never seen she has lived in the same place, very close to Alua, Dr. Jacob's place. In 96 years' time, she has not seen a flood like that. So nobody knows. So anybody below that age will definitely not know what it is. That is an unexpected VUCA situation. There's another VUCA situation which is a little different, which is what I think more relevant to each one of you. That is actually what happens is that, let's say this is technology. Yeah. So this is technology going straight up there. Our technology curve from years to years is going straight almost a vertical climb. Whereas when it comes to our learning curve, it's not a curve. It is going ചെറിയൊരു കയറ്റമുള്ളൂ. It's not going like ഇത് സെയിം റേഷ്യോയിൽ പോകുന്നില്ല, സെയിം സ്പീഡിൽ പോകുന്നില്ല. So what happens is that I think when my daughter was born, that was in 2000, she was a millennium girl. We bought a car, and that car had a child lock, which I didn't know. I realized that it had a child lock a year later. അപ്പോൾ ഈ കൊച്ചുവിനെ പുറകിലിരുത്തി നമുക്ക് ഭയങ്കര പേടിയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് മുമ്പിൽ തന്നെ ഇരുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ ഇരുന്നപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഫ്രണ്ട് ഹൂസ് ഫാർ മോർ knowledgeable, I'm saying his learning curve or his learning would have been slightly better like this. He said that, why can't you use a child lock? And to me it was an experience. Expensive car, maybe I would have taken loan and bought a car, but then the technology of the car I was not aware of. So a lot of things are available, and now it's very simple for you to understand. Your phones, smartphones that you use, globally it is said that smartphones and the potential, the features in there, about 12% or to 15% is what's being used. Rest 80% we don't even know why is it so. Forget about that. All of you wear jeans and you have a small pocket, small pocket somewhere here, and you don't know why. What is it for? So there are a lot of versions. Google you can find, but that I was told to keep when you ഇത് ഈ ജോലി ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഡ്രസ്സാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ ഈ നട്ടും പൊട്ടും ചെറിയ ചെറിയ സാധനങ്ങൾ പോകാതിരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഇടാനുള്ള ഒരു സാധനം. അതേപോലെ ഷർട്ടിന്റെ ബാക്കിൽ യു ഹാവ് അകത്ത് ഒരു ഹുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാവും. Nobody knows why that hook is for. That is basically to hang your shirt in a hook, in a kind of or jacket or so a lot of things. Very simple thing. So what happens is that this is a situation where the technology is growing really fast, and how do we kind of pull this up, this learning rate up? That is one situation which I think most of see the technology. Let me just tell you, when Nokia 30 years back when they launched their, or 26 years back when they launched, അവിടെ ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്ത് US ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്ത ഫോൺ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ എത്താൻ ഒരു 6 കൊല്ലം എടുത്തു, 5-6 കൊല്ലം. അതുപോലെ മൊട്ടറോള എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ കമ്പനി, ആ കമ്പനി തന്നെ ഇന്നില്ല, ഏതാണ്ട് ഓൾമോസ്റ്റ് നിൽ. ദാറ്റ് ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ ഹാഡ് സംതിങ് കോൾഡ് കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റർ, വലിയൊരു ഫോണാണ്. അത് ദുബായിൽ ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്തത് 95-ലോ 94-ലോ ആയിട്ടാണ്. ഇന്ത്യയിൽ അത് എത്താനായിട്ട് പിന്നെ 4 കൊല്ലം എടുത്തു. But now when Apple iPhone is launched, it's launched all over the world at the same time. Same time, 15 years back, now Samsung launches all over the world same time. OnePlus launched same time all over the world. So what happens is that technology is growing so fast and it's available so fast. It was not available early. It was available somewhere else, but not available in where we live. So that is one area where you will face a lot of challenges. Whatever you learned till yesterday will become null and void in terms of technology. Because a new technology comes and it will rewrite what all you have learned so far. So I think it's very important for you to keep that learning curve going. Back to what I said earlier, never grow up when it comes to technology. It's always new. Everything is, every day is new. And a phone that probably I have can be better used by my daughter, who is maybe 3 years younger to me. And I'm sure a 5-year-old child might use some of the features which I've never even imagined or I've thought that the phone had. So, yeah, let's go to the next slide. Is this bad? That is the question. Just check is this VUCA situation bad? But what do you think? ഒരു unpredictability വരുന്നത് നല്ലതാണോ ചീത്തയാണോ? Yes, I want to hear from all of you. No? Why, doctor said very dynamic and loud students, but I'm not hearing. Is this unpredictable situation good or bad? That's a question. Bad. How many of you agree that this is bad? Raise your hands. This is cheating. All of you said yes, and only one person raising hands. How many of you feel it is good? It is bad to have VUCA situation. I mean, VUCA situation is bad. Bad not welcome. I mean, I'm not saying bad, but not okay. Why should we have unpredictable situation? How many of you feel that? Please raise. No, raise. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10. 10%. Only 10%. That's it. Rest of you feel that unpredictability is good. Yeah. So you write your exam. Result should come when? In 2 days or 20 days or 2 years? I can't. What is it? I think they're not living up to your expectation. So let's get into a discussion. Is this good or bad? And prima facie, first look, if you look at it, result, we would like to know immediately. It's very normal to know that answer. You tell me the result. But then it may not be the same always. Let's go. You have heard of penicillin? Penicillin. So penicillin was not new during Second World War. It was discovered in 1929, 28, 29. പക്ഷേ മനസ്സിലായിരുന്നു അന്നേ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലായിരുന്നു ബാക്ടീരിയൽ ഇൻഫെക്ഷൻ കുറയ്ക്കാൻ ഇത് പ്രയോജനപ്പെടുത്തും. But it was not used. It was not used because people were not confident. Initially, look at the third sentence. Is working? So, what we're saying is that the US pharmaceutical companies were initially reluctant to commit to large-scale penicillin production. However, by the end of 41, which is 11 കൊല്ലം കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പം Second World War joined, they've realized that this is useful. It is not that penicillin was discovered for Second World War, but then they started using it. And what happened because of that is that millions of lives were saved. Now, penicillin then started, people have started using it, and now it's being a very commonly used one. VUCA situation, coming out the positive result. If that was not there, then we would have probably not tried to do this, use penicillin. Yeah. Have you heard of Kodak? ഞങ്ങളുടെയൊക്കെ പ്രായത്തിൽ കേട്ടാണ് ഇഷ്ടംപോലെ. ഇപ്പൊ കാണാറുണ്ടോ Kodak? So, Sony, all of you know. Digital photography was actually discovered in 1975 by Kodak engineer. Kodak Mahindra വേറെയാണ്, ഇത് Kodak ആണ് പണ്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം കാണിച്ച രണ്ടാമത്തെ സ്ലൈഡിന് യു മസ്റ്റ് റിമെമ്പർ ദാറ്റ് ലേണിംഗ് കർവ് പതുക്കെ പോണതും ടെക്നോളജി വേഗം പോണതും അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിളാണിത്. അന്ന് കൊഡാക്കിന് അറിഞ്ഞൂടായിരുന്നു ഈ ഡിജിറ്റൽ വേൾഡ് ഇത്രയും വലുതാവും, ഇത്ര വേഗമാവും. So what they did was they said no, I think let's look at it. ആ സമയം നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം. But then Sony took it. Sony immediately took over that. Then it started off with a lot of other things. Sonyക്ക് ഇതിനു മുമ്പും എക്സാമ്പിൾസ് ഉണ്ട്. ഈ walkie talkie CD-ലേക്ക് ഒന്നൊക്കെ വേറെ എക്സാമ്പിൾസ് ഉണ്ട്. But just look at a situation where if you don't get yourself adapted to change, remember all these things because I'm going to connect it to the second part of the discussion. If you don't get adapted to the change, technological change, then it is going to pull you backward. You will not be there in the front. So this is another example of technology leading and learning following. Yeah. So this VUCA world, all of you must be using Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Airbnb, all these things. And none of these people, Ola, Uber, no restaurant or and all this you would have learned. Airbnb ki oru room illa. Probably that is the largest hotel in the world because millions of rooms all over the world. Similarly, so market disruptions are in some way or other take us out of certain VUCA situations which we have not faced today. Because ഇത്രയും നാൾ നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിൽ ടാക്സി ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ടാക്സി ഇല്ലാത്ത കുഴപ്പമൊന്നുമില്ല. പക്ഷേ ടാക്സിയിൽ കൺവീനിയൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഒരു ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ഉണ്ടെന്നും അതിൽ കൂടി നമുക്ക് വി ക്യാൻ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് ഓൾ ദ ടാക്സി അവൈലബിൾ ഓൾ ഓവർ ദ വേൾഡ് അറ്റ് എനി പോയിന്റ് ഇൻ ടൈം. I can sit here and order for a taxi in London where my daughter studies. Or I can sit here and call for food in Bangalore where my wife stays. So this is all possible because of technology. We have not come across a situation like that. But technology has already reached there. Understand that, we need to really catch up with the speed. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we said volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. How do we handle this? It's important. In a situation, so how do we handle this situation? A quick and simple one. Don't complicate it. Just remember those basics. We have a situation where, let's look at Nijesh. You had some problem the other day. What was that? He did a program at IIM. He just got graduated from IIM. So the day he was going for this program, he didn't have dress, proper dress. Casual fun. Yeah. So let's exaggerate it a bit. So he's traveling. മഴക്കാലമായിരുന്നു. സൈക്കിളിലോ നടന്നു പോകുന്നു. വെള്ളം മേത്ത് വീഴുന്നു. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആക്ച്വലി മേത്ത് വീഴുന്നു. He has to do what? What does he have to do first? What happened? VUCA situation, because he has to attend the evening function with a lot of young students, colleagues, teachers. Yeah. So what he did was that his option number one is that what can he do? Can he change this situation? Let's say he's waiting for a bus, or he's going in a bike. Bike got damaged. He can now look at an option. What is that option? Option is to go for a cab. That option is there. But in this case, so that is one case. You can look at a change. നമുക്ക് ബൈക്കിന് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സൈക്കിൾ കേടായി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നടന്നു പോകാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല for some reason, you can hire a cab. So that change is possible. Normal situation, isn't it? But in this case, പോയപ്പോൾ ഡ്രസ്സ് മുഴുവൻ അഴുക്കായി. So what will you do? What is the first thing that you will do? You can't change. Not road cheliyayi. What will you do? Change is ruled out. This is possible. സാധാരണ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സൈക്കിൾ കേടായെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളൊരു ഫ്രണ്ടിൻ്റെ അടിക്കുന്ന ബൈക്ക് മേടിച്ചേനെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കാറിൽ പോയേനെ. ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് പോസിബിൾ. ചേഞ്ച് പറ്റുമായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ ഈ കേസിൽ അത് പറ്റണില്ല. സോ വാട്ട് വിൽ യു ഡു? So he said, look, എന്തായാലും നനഞ്ഞു, ഇനിയും ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. You can't change the dress or. So he has accepted it. What is the next one? What is the next one? So you can read the rise above. What does rise above mean? What he did was, this is true situation. When I was explaining this, he said, no, I have an experience. So what he did was, he spoke to his friend and organized a pair of dress at this venue. So when he went there, he could change and attend the function properly dressed. So many times, whenever it's possible to change, you change. But definitely accept the problem. Accept the problem and then try to rise above. How do you rise above? A simple example is that, let's say you want a room. You're in a city. You're in a city now. All of you are grown up. Once you go for your first job, you'll probably reach an unknown city. Or normally we are searching for a room. So you're saying that ഏത് ഹോട്ടലിലാണ് കിട്ടുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ മുമ്പിൽ 3 ഹോട്ടലാണ്, 3 അടുത്ത് പോകുമ്പോഴും അവിടെ റൂമില്ല. But then you heard, in that speech that day, that you have to rise above the occasion or rise above the problem. How will you rise above the problem? Rising above the problem is that, one is that ഈ 3 എണ്ണേ ഉള്ളൂ, 3 ഹോട്ടലേ ഉള്ളൂ. വേറെ ഹോട്ടൽ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലോ. So I would say physically climb on some 5-story building and find out where every building undo. Or you go to your phone and say, every day hotel, you go to one of those Agoda or what is that book my whatever TripAdvisor or no, go into that. So you're going above this problem that you're facing where 3-4 hotels nearby do not have room. That's your problem, right? That's a VUCA situation. So you go above that. You say that, why am I worried about these 2 streets? Can I not go to the next street? Little later you realize that why am I looking at this 2-3 streets here? Why can't I go to the next city? Because next city and this city could be about what? Maybe 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers. For example, somebody who is traveling, anybody from Dubai? Whose parents are Dubai? Or nobody? Only one. Surprising, yeah? 10 years, 20 years later, you would have seen half of the people. So if you go to Dubai, and if you're on your own trip, personal, don't book to Dubai. You book to Sharjah. Sharjah is actually cheaper. And then you drive to Dubai, it will be cheaper. Never ever go to land in Abu Dhabi because it's even more expensive. You want to stay, you stay in Sharjah, keep shuttling, it will be cheaper. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that sometimes when you have hit a problem and you know that you can't change that situation, accept that problem and then try to go a little above the problem, and you will start seeing the problem getting smaller. As you go higher and higher, the buildings will become smaller and smaller. What is the output of that? You can see more and more buildings, isn't it? Yes or no? Understood, not understood? So as you go higher, when you distance yourself from the problem, you find a lot of solutions. And then one of them you can adopt. You say that this is the solution. So understand that VUCA situation is not a situation where you get stuck. It is for you to actually look beyond what you are seeing there. Yeah. What is this car? What is this car? Any of you can recognize this car anywhere? The ഭയങ്കര silent ആണ്. So car is the first 3 letters, C-A-R. So car is the solution for this. Whenever you come across a situation like this, immediately remember a car. Either change or accept and rise above. Agree? Yes, no? Okay, that's better. Yeah. So now we are saying that, a ship which is a ship is kind of trying to go somewhere. Situation is bad. It is again a VUCA situation. Yeah. Then let the car come. As the car comes, the volatility becomes vision. So very, very clearly you're saying that, look, I'm very clear that I will go till the venue in that bad dress, dirty dress. I'm very clear. And there, my friend will be waiting there with a fresh pair of dress. Take that, go to the washroom, change, and then you are very clear on that. You have understood the problem. You have understood. Problem is what? I need to travel. I'm already dirty, so I need to travel from here to there. In this, accepted. No, I'm saying I'm okay because my objective is not how well I look while I travel. My objective is that how well I look when I'm there in the event, when I'm attending the program. And then clarity, ambiguity is cleared, everything is cleared. Once the car comes, once you clear, you accept and you understand the problem and then you try to rise, solutions automatically come. May not be the one that you think, or may not be the one that we think is the solution. Solution could be something other than that as well. So don't jump into a conclusion that most of the time we get perplexed, we get stuck because we think the solution is the solution that I already know. Solution need not be the one that you already know. Could be something else, the third thing, fourth thing. We don't know. So hence, once you get this vision, understanding, clarity, agility, then this VUCA situation gets kind of diluted, it gets simple. And then you feel that, okay, this is a manageable issue. That's why most of the, at least European companies, you find very senior people, very 80, 90-year-old as advisors, guides. Even here we have mentors and guides. So large CEOs, very powerful CEOs will be running the organization, but they always have mentors and guides who have seen more and more VUCA situations, where people have seen unpredictability, and then they've come out, evolved out of that, and then come out with a solution in situations like this. Yeah. Okay, now we'll start so the first 20 minutes is kind of over. It took about 5-10 minutes, 5 minutes more. The second one is about what is the core discussion that we're going to have. What is the talent that you need to acquire going forward? So you have gone through one structured learning, pack of maybe 12 plus for 15, 16 years. This is 15 years. So 15 years of structured study. Who structured, right structure, wrong structure, I'm not getting into that. But that is over. Now you're getting into a new world where you may not have these kind of coaches and mentors and teachers along with you. You're going to drive yourself. What is that you need to be prepared? Have you seen this before? Charles Darwin said this. So it says, you find cockroach. Cockroach is supposed to be one of the oldest creatures. Then you have a lot of this. They have survived. They have survived these changes. Unfortunately, the large ones have not been able to survive. It is not because they were weak. It is not because they were not intelligent. It is because they took time, or they never could adapt to the changes. Again, going back to the second slide that I showed, while technology is running fast, if you're not able to adapt to the technology, then you will be kind of left behind. Now, let's go for a quick. So your set of people contribute about close to 30% of Indian population, or maybe about, if you take that instead of 29 to 35, then that will go to about 40% of Indian population. Largest youth population in the world. And while you see the Japans and many other so-called developed countries, third generation countries, those countries are getting older faster. So when you have old people generally, they consume technology in the sense they use the benefits of the technology, but they may not be able to contribute to newer technologies purely because of their age factor. Now, this is about, India alone is about 26 crores. Globally, it could be about 40 times this, broadly. So, yeah. There's one reason why, just go back 1 second. One reason why I was kind of talking about this is because, see, once technology grows, and then the distance, one of the big advantage of technology is what? Technology, the distance gets shorter. Isn't it? You want to talk to your brother in US, just dial. You're able to talk to him. So the distance gets shortened. So which means this in India can be a competition in every nook and corner of India. So today we are discussing about setting up a solar plant in a place called Bidar. Bidar is an interior Karnataka where Reliance is setting up a huge solar plant. If you look at even 3 years back, nobody used to go and be in Bidar or live in Bidar. But then you'll soon see CEOs moving there, the experts moving there, and that becoming a bigger city. So geography, the space, the distance is no more a problem. And in India, as we speak, we would have built about 20 kilometers of road. Today in India, now since the beginning of this and in the last 1.5 hours, we would have built about 20 kilometers of road. That's the kind of speed. So imagine by the time you were maybe, let's say 25 or 30-year-old, the road connectivity will be superb, the best in the world. I used to be there while the express highways were built in Delhi, Noida, and UP. Amazing. I mean, we are yet to learn how to drive in those roads, because it's absolutely stunning. Far, far better than the roads that we have seen in China, Japan, and US. Understand? So this number is far higher when it comes to competition. When you are competing for something, it could be for living, it could be for lifestyle, it could be for money, whatever you want to say. Understand the competition. It's not simple. It's really, really huge. And the same number of competitions spread across 1,000 kilometers versus spread across 10 kilometers is different. So you'll have to compete even more aggressively in all these places. Yeah, let's go forward. Let's look at this. This is not taught anywhere. I mean, if you ask me, it might be written in some books. Though we were talking about specific competency that each one of you should have, talents that each one of you should have, but please understand this 10, 12 things are the template on which you need to build. It's like, collaboration and team, wherever you are, whatever you want to do. You are a chef, or you want to, I thought, you are having some, yeah. So there you're a chef. But then imagine if you don't have support from people around you. So wherever you are, teamwork extremely, extremely important. Or if you're not a team player now, for whatever reason, please put extra effort to become a team player. Go jump into some association, get into some NGO activity, do something to make sure that, because any corporate, unless you're a team player, neither will you be able to succeed, nor will you be able to take the team through a successful journey. Creativity, imagination, critical thinking, problem solving, flexibility and adaptability, global culture, each of this, understand that you are part of a society. We are not living inside a capsule. We are living in a society. It could be 2 people, it could be 20 people, it could be 2,000 people. So unless and until you acclimatize yourself into living along with fellow beings, whether it is a normal situation, VUCA situation, whatever situation it is, you'll find it extremely difficult to go forward, however talented you are. We have many, many cases, extremely talented people, very good people. And you look at their academics, par excellence. You look at their credentials, what they have documented, not documented. But when it comes to people management or being part of the team, okay. And that's the end of the discussion, because we cannot afford to have anybody who cannot be part of a team. Excellent brain, but then very, very poor people relationship. Not there in the game. So I think this should be the template on which you need to build further. So if this is not a part of your curriculum, don't look at the teachers. This is something which you need to learn from the society, from home, from your friends. This is not something that you can learn from the textbook. But then this is something which is very, very important, and it has to be the template of your, career building. Yeah, let's go forward. Yeah, now we are coming into the hardcore stuff. Very little, because all these things is available in the internet, and I will make myself even more stupid to come and tell you what is the talent available, because that's something by which time you should be. This is where I've gotten to, and where else can I do? What else can I do? So available for us is artificial intelligence. All of you know, I hope. Artificial intelligence, very simple. That is, which is predictable to 100 options, predictable to 1,000th, predictable to 1,000,000th. So to the last, if you can predict, then chances for you to make a lot of this physical manual stuff, you can automate it. So you search for an umbrella, open your Facebook, you will start seeing umbrella. Open your Instagram, you will start seeing umbrella with different colors. Open your something. So whatever you think about something. The other day, my driver and I were talking about changing the seat cover of the car. And morning, evening, he said, these are the 2-3 places. I said, where did you get it? No, it came in the Facebook. So when he dropped me and he was going through Facebook, somewhere you would have searched for some seat cover. Facebook started telling you, go for seat cover in this place. And there you get green, brown, black. So the artificial intelligence makes it really, really fast. And then that need people, isn't it? We have just started. Reliance has started an artificial intelligence hub in Hyderabad. And one of the topmost artificial intelligence scientists, who is from South India, he has been hired and he is kind of heading that project. This is going to be the future. And now, do you really want to work around this? Do you want to invest your time on this, study this some more time, and then be kind of expert in this and take all this? So artificial intelligence as a base, self-driving chatbots, all these things, educational tools, healthcare. I mean, I've started seeing some of this chatbots. All of you are aware, right? You don't know. I'm not going to explain it. Please Google and find out, because these are something which are very, very. Now we're talking about US elections, last US elections. This was a very important tool where social media becomes one to all to one, and one to one. So then you're able to communicate faster, express louder, because one posting on your favorite social media, whether it is Instagram or LinkedIn, or that actually takes you to millions of people, which otherwise we couldn't. You're talking about biodata and CV difference. Imagine today, I think my Kundli Kundli is Hindi, no? Horoscope, yeah. So horoscope, madam can sit there and find out, who is this person, and what. You go little more, probably you can say what are the brands that I like. You little go do a bit of research on Amazon, what all things I buy. You will understand person's habit. So it's so easy to predictable. But end of the day, what we are saying that all these are required, and we need people to do this. After creating this, you may not need people, but to create this, you need people, and people are none other than each one of you. Yeah, let's go to the next. So IoT, I've told you, I sit here. So about 10 years back, when we were in Europe, I was going with a friend for dinner to his house. So he was staying alone, or his family was yet to join. Before we reached, he set the AC temperature, he set everything. The oven is on, everything is set. It's as if somebody was waiting for me. Because that house was shut for 2-3 days. We were all together in a conference while we were coming back. Walked into the house, and when we got into the house, everything was there. Everything was set. He just got into the airport, hopped into his car. His car was parked there. Then he came in, and I'm talking about 8-9 years back. So that's yet to come into India. So maybe you don't have to do the discovery and invention there, but you have to put it into practice in India. So if you have to have a machine which says that, look, can I reduce the temperature of the air conditioner? You need to have that on the air conditioner, which means you need people to do this job. So that requires people. That can be another. So each of this, and we can definitely, these are all internet available, so you can Google that, just note down the headings. Yeah, let's go to the, yeah. Can you read from there? So Gartner is an analytical company, which I think India has one of their offices here. They do a lot of this analysis. So what they're saying is technology trend latest is data fabric, cyber security, privacy enhancing computation. I'll tell you what, 82% of criminal cases world over, so you conclude or you catch the culprit through technology only. So you find out, where is he using. So let's say some crime occurred in a place. So they try to figure out what time approximately. And during that time, how many phones were active in that area. Phones were active കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുന്നത് എങ്ങനെയാണ്, എത്ര ടവറുകൾ. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ ഈ ഒരു സ്ഥലത്തേക്ക് ചിലപ്പോൾ 3-4 ടവറിൽ നിന്നായിരിക്കും സിഗ്നൽസ് വരുന്നത്. അപ്പം 3-4 കമ്പനികൾ ഉണ്ടാവും. ജിയോ ഉണ്ട്, എയർടെൽ ഉണ്ട്, വേറെ. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ടവറുകളിൽ ഏത് ടവറുകളിലാണ് ആ ക്രൈം നടന്നെന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് ബിറ്റ്വീൻ 2 AM and 4 AM എവിടേക്കാണ് നോക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ അതിലൊരു 2000 കോള് നടന്നു. അപ്പോൾ 2000 കോള് എത്ര ഫോണിൽ നിന്നാണ്, എത്ര നമ്പർ, അതൊക്കെ ടെക്നോളജി കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാം. They zeroed on saying that 2000 കോള് ഒരു 400 ഫോണിൽ നിന്ന്. 400 ഫോൺ അതിൻ്റെ നമ്പർ ഏതൊക്കെയാണ്? അതിൽ നമ്മൾ 0.0 ഒരു 10-20 ഫോണിലേക്ക് എത്തും, 10-20 നമ്പറിലേക്ക് എത്തും. ഫോണിന് ഒരു നമ്പറുണ്ട്, പിന്നെ മൊബൈൽ നമ്പറുണ്ട്. ഒരു ട്രാക്ക്. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് ഇങ്ങനെ കയറി ഒരു ഫോൺ തൃശ്ശൂർക്ക് പോയി, അങ്ങനെ പോയി കോയമ്പത്തൂർക്ക് പോയി, വേറൊരു ഫോൺ ഇങ്ങനെ വന്ന് എറണാകുളത്തേക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ പോയി. Then you identify, you said, okay, probable it is that these two guys who have gone out of state could be the criminals. So 80 to 83% of the cases even today, we have a wing to support the investigation team. Every telecom company has got a wing whose only job is to support this. So all these things, these are the opportunities available. Again, all available on the internet. Yeah, let's go forward. So now, let's come to our favorite COVID. So I can tell you that COVID is, I don't know whether there are a lot of people who curse COVID, because of COVID, they cry and weep and resign and leave job and sell everything available and then try to settle down too early in life. Settle down in the sense compromise, I have a job somewhere, come back in Naatlo. There are another set of people who find a huge opportunity. So one set of people find crisis in this. I don't know what to do in life. Now let me just surrender everything and let go back. There's another set of people who find opportunity. We found terabytes. All of you know terabytes. Terabytes. 3000 terabytes ആയിരുന്നു നമ്മൾ ഞാൻ ജിയോയുടെ കേരളത്തിൽ ഒരു ദിവസം ഉപയോഗിച്ചത് കോവിഡിന് മുമ്പ്. കോവിഡിന് ശേഷം ഇറ്റ് ഹസ് ഗ്രോൺ ടു ആസ് ഹൈ ആസ് 7000 terabytes a day. What does it mean? Of course it means business for us. But more important is that എന്തുമാത്രം യൂസേജ് ആണ് ആൾക്കാർ. കൊച്ചു കൊച്ചു എല്ലാത്തിനും എന്ത് ആവശ്യമുണ്ടെങ്കിലും they immediately search and they find out, they get the cab, they order for medicines, they order for masks, anything and everything you use this. So somebody was a friend of mine, I mean not friend, actually is a senior colleague of mine, is the group CEO of an international telecom company. So he called up and said that Jio launched in 2016 proper services. We were saying that developed countries, he's abroad, he's in Norway. So he was saying, just imagine if COVID, instead of COVID-19, had been COVID-15, India would have gone through a terrible time because connectivity was bad, the data availability was bad, nobody can use anything. So just because Jio came in at the right time, we could move a lot of things into Jio game and then others followed. It's not that others were. So imagine a crisis like COVID becoming an opportunity for a lot of other things. And then people find, believe me, I don't know how many of you are using branded masks now. ഏതെങ്കിലും branded company? All companies, I mean all branded apparel companies have come out with masks. Huge opportunity there, and mask is always there. I mean, if you travel to Eastern Asia, you will find always people used to use mask because of pollution or whatever it is. So what I'm saying is that on one set of people look at a crisis, look at this as a crisis, a situation like this as a crisis. Another set of people look at it as an opportunity. So it's for you to find out whether you are the crisis part of the journey or opportunity part of the Prayaan. If you're an opportunity part of the journey, then you'll start enjoying the journey. You'll end of the day be successful the way you want it to be successful. Yeah, let's go. Okay, so this obviously I have to talk a word about Jio. Jio really did a lot of these things across. We did a lot of free vaccination. All these services were provided. But unless you have connectivity, you will never be able to do these things. Technology use you need to have two connectivities. What are those two connectivities? One is an individual to be connected, one phone. Typically an individual, a human being is connected with a phone. Then the second one is your residence or office, or this building. Like for example, this building, is it a connected building or not? Does it have a high speed data connectivity in this building, or is it just another building? So tomorrow when you go and buy a property, it'll say like it's a swimming pool and volleyball court and all. They'll say high data connected homes. So connectivity is our job. Our primary job is connectivity. Then the next job is to put content into this. So you want to use your bank or your school, academics, or you want to entertainment. All that is content that we push to the connected cables and wireless data network. So that's our job, and I think we're doing it quite well. Yeah. Yeah. See, since we're talking to students, see, these are the opportunities that we have. We have about, Ajit is our chief of hiring. He needs what? How many people do you need right now? About 600 people today. And of course, maybe with some freshers and you can take some freshers also. So we actually take a frontline kind of engineer, but then we grow really fast. We in every 2 years, if you're good, you can grow. And you can work in any nook and corner of India. So we will have qualified engineers requirement in Angamali also. We will have a qualified engineers requirement in some Firozabad, wherever in the world, wherever in India. So, like for example, we have 281 point of service, in the sense point of building which we own or leased for our operation in this small city and small state of Kerala. So that's how we are. So we provide employment to about 3,000 people directly, and then maybe another 4,000 people indirectly. So when we put up a tower, അതിൻ്റെ ജോലിക്ക് വരുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ indirect employees ആണ്. Because ഞങ്ങളുടെ ജിയോയുടെ vendors and employees. So that way another about 7,000-8,000 employees employment we provide. We are the largest private investor in Kerala. We invest about 13,000 crores already in India. I was just explaining that what is the length of Kerala? ആർക്കെങ്കിലും അറിയാമോ? കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ ഇങ്ങേയറ്റം അല്ല അങ്ങേയറ്റം? Any bold answers? It's about 700 kilometers from Kasaragod to Kanyakumari. We have already laid about 21,000 kilometers of fiber. You can actually Kerala 30 times you can. So because every home you need to do, but that itself is only about less than 30% of the homes. So imagine 100%. So much of fiber is required. So much of laying is required. So huge manpower requirement in small place like Kerala. Imagine it for whole India. And all that comes out of students of various caliber, various institutions. So depending on what capability they have, we will have them hired. So that is, I think that's the formal stuff. So we have another 20 minutes. So 12 o'clock, so 10:30. Any questions? So any questions? Yeah. Yes. Any questions anywhere from any?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So we will be very happy if you talk about your journey of success.
Okay. So I'll first make a bit of a change on that question. It's not of success to success, because I don't know whether I'm still successful and what is successful. Because, see, I think it's a very, very important question, because it's for us to decide what is success. Each one of us should know what is success. And I've always said that, I've written also about this, saying success is a state of mind. You don't have to be equal to somebody to be successful, because that varies. I started my career. No, it's probably a slightly longish chance. I started my career. My first salary was from an NGO. It was a library of an NGO. So I used to have school till about 2 o'clock, and then I come back. From 4 to 8, I work in that. I never used to work. I used to be in the library. But then I found very elderly people. It's a research library in Hyderabad. Even now it is there. It's one of the largest libraries. So my aunt used to be the librarian there. So I used to stand there, and so somebody will come and they'll say, I want Kathopanishad, but interpreted by so and so. And all of them are elderly teachers and all that. So they not know. Those days it's no way digital. So I used to take them, guide them to that place, take them, show them the book, and they will take it. And they can take it for 7 days. 7 days they write it down and bring it back. Olden days, and used to have a card and all that. Somebody used to come and say that, I want Bible, written by so and so, or all kind of questions. So the the president of that, secretary of that library saw this many days. One day he called up and said that, he gave me a voucher of 50 rupees. 50 rupees those days is like actually good money. He said that you're doing so much of work here. I think every month, first of the day, you must come to the office and you must take 50 rupees. So I used to do my kind of schooling and basic expenses. That is my first job. Uh, Now, since then, probably during that time, the journey was about getting a good job. I think good job, you study well, and then you go. Then I kind of, during my college days, I used to work in a hotel there, and so during daytime in the college, evening I used to go to the hotel and work for the night, and the next day morning I used to go to. So that happened for about 5 years during my pre-university and university. So 5 years. So that is the objective, was getting into a professional organization. So once you got into a professional organization, so the success at that point in time was getting a good job in a good company. In between, somewhere, this love for civil service came in. Then you did a bit of it, but then it so happened that I happened to be with happened to see a minister dealing with a civil service officer. I didn't like it. I said, no, I don't want to be part of the civil service business. That's my call. I mean, absolutely, that's nothing to follow, or that may not be the right thing. But then I decided that no, I can't be like this. I want to be on my own. I mean, can't depend on some. But then the journey was more to become. When you got into a corporate, then the objective was to become a manager. That was a success. Success that is more like as you go closer to it, it again moves. So don't try to kind of complicate our life to make a fixed success format. But then, about 2018, I was CEO of a company in Gujarat. The floods happened here. And then my mother said, why don't you come back? So I just left the job. I was coming back, and then, of course, I got into Geo and all that. Question is that at that time, to me, the success was to come back home and be with my mother. If you try to measure it in currencies, wrong decision, not successful. If you measure it with lifestyle, life standard, designation, XPs, a lot of things may not be the success by the normal definition. To me, the success was that a 90-year-old mother, I think, how long can I be with her? Can I not be with her? So isn't it success? So 30 years back, how do I run away from her and get into corporate was success? 30 years later, that is coming back to her was success, is success. So don't try to define success. Success is something which, to me, makes you really, really happy. Can you forget something and do what you are doing right now? That is success. And if you constantly is bothered about what happened in the past or what will happen in the future, then you are not enjoying what you're doing now. And then whatever money you earn, whatever level you earn, whichever floor you are, whatever temperature of the air conditioner, you are not happy. If you're not happy, why should you be successful? If you're not making, that is not making you happy, then what is the fun of being successful and term it as successful? So that's my advice. I tell this to my daughter. My daughter is completing her college in another 2 weeks. So far I've never asked anything. So my request to her was that 2 months she has to spend traveling around. No study, nothing else, but just travel around and see places, meet people whom you otherwise don't meet. And then you probably, that may not be what you want to do. You know, what she's doing is not what she wants to. She might want to do something else. So that's my answer. I don't know whether I answered it right. That's my view on all that.
Hi, sir. Sir, over here, almost all of us are freshers with no or very little experience of the working world. So my question to you is that what will your advice be about, how we can adapt to the business world, or what are the skills sets that you are looking for in a fresher, or what we should develop?
I think good question. Very important question. What do you look at? So I don't know whether you went through that talents required. In that I put one side where some of the softer skills, team player, sensitive, to people around you. Those are the softer things that is required for anybody, because getting adapted to. I'm a commerce graduate. I got into selling. I know how. Then and now you end up handling technology, you have HR, you have finance, all these things. So these are not something which you need to worry about right now. It will evolve. So what you need to do is make sure that, what I will look at is that, is this person fit enough to be part of this team, this group? Does he, she have a basic understanding of what is to be done? So if these two things are there, then you evolve. You're open to learning. You the most, I would say, important thing that has happened in the last 15 years in your life is that you have been taught to learn. What we will get, the content we will not discuss now, but all of you have learned how to learn things. Agree? Don't agree? Now, this learning of how to learn should continue. It will continue as you go forward. You will learn how to do some coding, which otherwise you are not doing, or you will know how to talk to. So my nephew, he is now with a analytical company. He has got clientele from US, from China, Japan, all these countries. He has got, and he says, how much ever you want to teach in this school or any school for that matter, you can't teach this. Teaching one human being talk to 4, 5 different set of people from different parts of the world is not possible. But then this 16 or 18 years of his learning of how to learn helped him to learn that also. So in your mind, you should be very clear. Look, I'm open to learn. Whatever is happening here, I will learn and I'll quickly, kind of adapt to that. What I need is that, ability to learn, appreciate information, getting information, make sure that, it's all about contributing, then extracting from that. So your organization, what's your expectation? 30 days later, you get your, one message on your phone saying your salary is credited. That should not be expected. Expectation is that, how much can I learn from this organization and how much can I contribute to the organization? This mind, you speak to anybody. You don't have to convince anyone. They will understand that, okay, this person has come here to contribute to this organization and also to learn from this organization and grow. So don't get over, and I really don't like this word called pressure. None of you are under any kind of pressure. Don't worry about that. If you worry about pressure, pressure is something which from 100 kilometers you say pressure will come to you. Anything smallest of the thing, you think that is going to be a pressure. You have a different word for pressure. Have you heard any other different word for pressure? Yeah, I heard it somewhere. Stress. Now you can ask Dr. Jacob, when we were in our 20s, have you heard about this word called stress other than in dictionary? We never had any stress. Why we never had any stress? Because we did not know there is something called stress there. Understand one thing very clearly. There is a huge difference between stretch and stress. Stretch is okay. Stretch is perfect. I mean, you run a 5 kilometer, next day you want to run a 5.5 kilometer, brilliant, do that. You can, do, let's say, 10 push-ups, you want to make it 15, 20, 30, stretch is perfectly fine. It will do only good to your brain and body. But then the minute it moves into stress, that is not great. The stress is a artificial created problem. Who is creating that? We create. But because we think that just because the other person has got X salary and I am X minus 5%, I am under stress. Just because that person has got a Ferrari and I've got a Ferrari minus 5%, I'm under stress. Just because that person is traveling every other day international tour and I'm traveling in the local KSRTC, I'm under stress. Don't get into that. The minute you start comparing with people, you will get into stress. And what is the benefit out of that? The stress creates all kind of problems, physical and mental. So recently, there's a study done. I think Harvard only did this about. They did one of the largest research in the world. The research time and people involved, I'm not getting into that, but the output is that what makes a person happy and stress free is when you have right kind of people around you. So when you have right kind of people around you, they advise you rightly, you seek advice from them, they advise you properly. They do not allow you to get into this kind of unnecessary comparisons. They will support you with more than physical strength, mental strength. And that's the thing that makes you stress free. And when you're stress free, happiness and all that follows. So just make sure that you are in the right company.
Good afternoon, sir. My question is about you have told about the VUCA world, and I also agree that VUCA world. But the graph you have shown is that it's about a group of people, and while considering individually, the uncertainty becomes a big problem for individual peoples. So, can you tell me the uh, right options or right people that we should choose for rising above in that VUCA situation?
Okay. So, VUCA situation, let me repeat. So VUCA situation is, as I told you, it's not about one situation for everyone. Your, your VUCA situation cannot be her VUCA situation. It varies. Though we are in the same apartment or same house, it keeps varying. What is rising above is when I say rise above, it's not physically rising above. It's not about though I said climbing a taller building. It's actually mentally you look at various options. Don't close the saying that I did not get that bus, so I missed my life. There are buses. No? So one is that you don't don't get into that fixation saying that this is the answer for this question. I used to work I've told in Uttar Pradesh. There's a city called Aligarh. Have you heard of Aligarh? Muslim university, Aligarh is the most popular. So Aligarh is famous for another thing. What is that? Yeah. That's what she said. No, it's not Aligarh. Of course, it is there. There's something else. Aligarh is famous for locks, lock and all kind of lock. പണ്ടൊക്കെ ഇവിടുത്തെ നാട്ടിൻപുറത്തെ കടകളിലൊക്കെ പൂട്ട് വരുന്ന അവിടെ നിന്നാണ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ഐ യൂസ് ടു ഗോ ദെയർ. കാരണം വെച്ചാൽ അവിടെ ചില പഴയ കടകളുണ്ട്, ഒരു 300 കൊല്ലം 400 കൊല്ലം 500 കൊല്ലം. അവിടെ വെച്ചിട്ട് ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ ഒന്ന് രണ്ട് പൂട്ട്, യുനോ ലോക്ക് പൂട്ട് എന്ന് പറയും. All of you know locks. There's something very unique about it. What is that? എന്താ? Louder. Lunch time. Key and lock is unique. Sorry? You're right. What else? Any other answers? Yeah. You're kind of close to the answer. It's as simple as that. Yeah? Yes. But have you ever seen a lock with only one key? How many keys do you have for your lock at home? So no blacksmith ever makes a lock with one key. Lock is one, but then at least 2, 3 keys. These days, I think 4 keys. So understand, every problem in life that comes in front of us will have multiple keys. We do not know whether it is kept in the car deck or dad's wallet or your friend's place because you were having a sleepover there. Some reason, somewhere it is lying. You need to find that out. So rising above is all about that. Saying don't restrict your mind into that is visible to you. Please think and then go beyond what you're physically seeing. And that gives you all kind of solutions. Yeah. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is that what kind of changes do you bring in your organization when you are facing any kind of VUCA situation, something like that?
First, most important is bring in kind of a, I would say, peace. Panic is the most dangerous thing that can happen. So any kind of in an organization, I think you asked a very specific question. In an organization, a situation like this, the first thing that will happen is panic. People do not have answers. Neither the head of the business or head of the kind of factory or office, nobody will have answers. So the first natural reaction is panic. Agree? നമുക്കറിയാൻ പാടില്ലാത്ത സിറ്റുവേഷൻ വരുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ വല്ലാതെ പിടിച്ച് ആ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ഒരു സെക്കൻഡ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് ഓക്കെ. 1 second you can be panic. Sometimes that 1 second is also very dangerous. The head of the location, head of the business, head of the unit, head of whatever, his first job is to ensure that panic doesn't last even for a second or maybe less than a second. You need to bring in a feeling of control in the organization. So it's a very simple thing, നമ്മൾ ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ പോയിട്ട് നഴ്സ് ഇങ്ങനെ സെഞ്ഞു കൊണ്ടുവരും. അപ്പോഴേക്കും കൊച്ചാണെങ്കിലും നമ്മൾ വലിയ ആൾക്കാരും കുറച്ചാൽ അപ്പൊ തന്നെ കരഞ്ഞ ആകെ ബഹളമായിരിക്കും. നഴ്സ് വരുമ്പോ തന്നെ ഒന്നുമില്ല കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്ന്. അതപ്പോ നമ്മൾ വിചാരിക്കുന്നത് ആ ഇതൊക്കെ ഇട്ട് തുടങ്ങി വിചാരിക്കുന്നത് കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കും. അത് എമ്മയാണ് കുത്തു വരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ സോ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ഹെർ ഫസ്റ്റ് റിയാക്ഷൻ ടു എ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ലൈക്ക് ഷീ ഈസ് ട്രെയിൻഡ് saying control, you are in charge, relax, let the patient not get scared. ചിലപ്പോൾ what call fatal ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആക്സിഡന്റ് കഴിഞ്ഞ ആളാണെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ കൂടെ ഉള്ളവരുടെ കുഴപ്പമില്ല, ഇവിടെ എത്തിയില്ലേ കുഴപ്പമില്ല. So that is the first job that any manager should do, that look, nothing to worry, I'm here. I'm in charge. Don't complicate things. You relax, I'll tell you what to do. Most of the time, the output, the solution will come from the team. The team will tell you, sir, ഇന്നത്തെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായപ്പോഴേ നമ്മൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്തേ. പക്ഷെ അത് ചിന്തിക്കാനായിട്ട് ടീമിന് ഒരു സമാധാനം കൊടുക്കേണ്ട ആളുടെ ജോലി. ആദ്യത്തെ ജോലി അതാണ്. Are you getting me? First job of a leader in any situation is to kind of calm down and make sure that the team feels that there is somebody in charge. So get the control in your hand. Control the physical control, situation to control. And you will see this in many, many situations, especially in the road accident. Road accident, from nowhere, suddenly a leader comes up. He will take charge. He will say that, ambulance, suddenly some leader takes charge. So that VOCA situation is now brought under control. And the people around will start looking at him. Now you tell me. Then, slowly you take the next step, and then bring everything into control, actual control. And then you solve the situation. Did I answer your question?
Thank you, sir, for the session. The memories of spectacular occasions and memorials fade, but a word of gratitude, a word of appreciation can indelibly engrave its existence in our brains. Now, I request Dr. Jacob PM to present our venerated chief guest, Mr. Narendra Casey, with a memento as an expression of our gratitude and its inexplicable bond we have forged with him.
And then I invite Miss Nayana S. to hand over the token of love. Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Now, I would like to welcome Ms. Kartika Jayakumar, first year MBA student, to deliver his insight. She from this talk.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today was the last day of Prayaan Leadership Talk series, and it has been an honor to be a part of this wonderful session. We are really privileged to have such an inspiring person, Mr. Narendran Casey, State Head of Reliance Jio Infocom, Kerala. Sir, thank you for giving an insight into your experiences, which showed a doorway to corporate world. And your mention about change, accept, and rise above was something that we could actually apply in our life as well. So it was truly an inspiring and informative session as well. Thank you, sir. And we really look forward to have many more sessions with you in future. So on behalf of Naibanya Business School, I extend my gratitude. Thank you, sir. At last, thank you to all my faculties for their immense support and my friends who's present in this hall for making this event a grand success. So once again, thank you and have a great day.
Before winding up the session, let us stand us for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।